Captain ThirdGen YouTube channel.
Alright guys, pardon the mess here. I'm in the middle of, again, a lot of projects at once. But this video we're going to be talking about the Casper's fan controller. So what this does is it allows you to have a switch on the inside of the car to have either low fan, high fan, or normal stock settings, right? So the middle section of the switch is normal settings, whatever the computer has programmed into it. In this car's case, the stock factory programming. If you switch it one way, it's high fan override, so whenever you want the fans on high, for example at the racetrack, drag strip, whatever, you can turn the fans on high, you can turn the fans on low, whatever you want. I had been wanting something like this for a while. I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but then I saw a video from LSX Motorsports, great channel, go check him out, and he did this to his LS1 Camaro. So I went ahead and purchased the same kit, and we'll see if it works for my V6. I think it's going to, because it looks like it's the exact same setup. So as you can see here, I've taken the ECM out. 2 7mm bolts there and there. They never actually come out. You just loosen them up and pull the connector off. Then there's 2 10mm bolts to get the bracket that holds the ECM out. Then that comes out with some motivation. You really kind of have to twist it out a bunch of ways. It took me a while to get that out of there. I took this grommet. Here, you know what? Let me get a light. That'll make this easier to see. Now I'll walk over to my dad's car and I'll show you guys the how to do this from start to finish here. But that's the grommet that I took out there. I basically just squeezed it and pulled it forward, and it came right out. And then I see, as you can see here, by that light gray wire, I fed the wire through there, took the lower dash panel side of the passenger footwell here. There's these 2 Christmas tree looking fasteners that go up like this. Again, I'll show that on my dad's car in a minute. So you pull those out really hard, and then this panel here comes out, and then you're able to get up in there. So I fed the switch wire through, and I was able to get up there and grab it and pull it through. So now we have a switch wire on the inside of the car. Here's a little switch, just a little, oh, which way does it go? There, there, there. It's a real simple thing, really cool. This whole kit was about 63 bucks. I think after shipping it was, I don't know, maybe 70. So not too bad. It was advertised as plug and play, no modifications needed. I think it's going to work out like that, so we'll see how that goes. But here, we'll go over to my dad's car, because I decided to make this video after I started the process there. So we'll go to this car. Okay, so first things first, take the 2 7mm bolts out. Now this process is going to be the same for an LS1, a V6, an LT1, an automatic, a manual, doesn't matter. It's all the same. LSX Motorsports did this on his Camaro, and it was an automatic LS1 Super Sport convertible, so it's about as different from these cars as you can get, and it was still the same setup. So you take these 2 7mm bolts, you loosen them, right? These don't ever come out, so you loosen them until, you know, you feel like they're loose. And you kind of grab these connectors and you pull them off one by one, right? So you just do 1, 2, 1, 2, pull these off, get them out of the way. Then there's these 2 10mm bolts there on that bracket. You take those all the way out, and now your ECM is, you know, relatively free. So then you work the whole thing out. I have my V6 one sitting right here, you can see. So that's how it looks by itself. I was able to wiggle that out of there with some patience, which I'm running thin on at the moment. But different story for a different day. So we'll walk over here and we'll move some wheels. Is it gonna clear? Good enough. Okay. So this is how we started. Now, there's those little black, that little black clip right there. You just grab onto that with some big pliers. That's all I did, and I pulled it straight down. There's one there, and there's one there. I just pulled those straight out. You feel like you're gonna break them, and I kind of sort of did, but I mean, they came out. I'll be able to put them back in. Then this passenger kick panel just pulls out. You kind of push it down, so it's a down and out kind of motion. So then that's out of your way. And then like I showed earlier, I pulled the grommet out, pulled it, squeezed it, pulled it forward. Then I was able to feed that wire through. So now the plan is, as you can see, I already separated this connector. So that's more of a, the connector here, it's this one, this first connector. You pull that out this way to get it out from the car, and then you pull this little blue pin out, and then you push down on this connector, or you push up. You pull up, and then you separate the connector. So it's not incredibly difficult. Now from this point, we should be able to plug the connector in the middle here. So we'll take Mr. Casper's module here, and we will plug. How's this going to work? Oh, there's female and male, right? So this end is going to go here, this end is going to go here, and then we will have this Casper's module in the middle. This switch wire with the purple end will go in that little circular hole there, and we will run a ground, which is, yeah, the Casper's module wants its own ground, which they want you to put it here on the factory ground. LS6 Motorsports had some problems with that just spinning, so if he had problems with it, I'm assuming I will, because my car's a little rustier. So I might just go on that fender bolt right there. But I'll show you guys how I do that, how I end up doing it. So right now I'm just going to plug it in. I'm going to get the switch plugged in, get it grounded, plug the battery. Oh, you're going to want to disconnect your battery first. I forgot to mention that. So please disconnect your battery first. Anytime you're messing with the computer, you know how much you want to bet with my luck that I just totally bricked my computer and I'll have to buy another one. That would be Captain ThirdGen style. We're going to hope that I'm able to just plug it back in. But yeah, I disconnected the battery first, so I did my part there. So we're going to plug it in, ground it, hook up the battery, see if it works. The switch should work whether the car's on or off, as long as the battery's plugged in. Maybe for some people that's a positive, maybe for some that's a negative. I kind of like that, just because I think I'd be aware enough to know that if I turn the car off and the fans are on, I'd be like, oh yeah, I should turn them off. But anyway, let's plug it in, ground it, hook up the battery, see if it works. All right guys, so I got it all hooked up, plugged right in. The connectors seem like they're pretty good quality. I do have it grounded to the fender currently. So I'll move that tag for you. So you can see that grounded to the fender bolt. I unfortunately broke that little plastic piece you see there. Well, I didn't really break it, but it's just kind of mangled beyond repair. So this thing doesn't, see if I get this to stand up. So this thing just kind of flops around. I mean, these are still hooked up like factory, but so this whole setup's kind of bouncing around. I'm probably gonna like zip tie it. Maybe I'll zip tie it to this cable here. Not to the metal, obviously, but probably to the cable. I'll probably zip tie it like that to hold it steady. So I got the cable routed. I'll show you the grommet situation. So I kind of tucked that back in there best I can. Obviously it's not great. This isn't a great install. I think LS6 Motorsports did a lot better job than I'm doing. But we'll see how it goes. So we're going to put the computer back in right now and hook the battery up, see if it works. I just got the switch sitting on the floor right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know where I'm going to put it. They don't give you a ton of cable to work with. I mean, right now I got it pretty much snug in the engine bay, and this is like as far as you can go. I mean, I guess it's as far as you need to go, but I mean, still, it's not a ton of cable. So, and since I'm kind of lazy and this isn't like a show car, this is just a race car, I might just like tape it. I might just like tape it there. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a more legit work on where to put the switch. Maybe I'll figure that out a little nicer later on, but for right now I think I'm just going to tape it here, maybe down there or something. Just kind of out of the way, kind of stealthy. And then I'll tuck the wire up in here and put the kick panel back on. But let's get the computer back in and let's see if it will work. So I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. So let's get that PCM back in there. All right, fellas, I think we are done. Everything's ran, everything's plugged in, everything's grounded. The ECM's back in and plugged in. That was a lot more of a pain than I thought it was going to be. I think I would get a dyno tune over a mail order tune just to not have to remove that. That's a real pain. I don't know what it is about that. Just the cowl design is really, really annoying. Plug my little thing back in there. Come on, get in there. Okay, this thing wants to be difficult. We'll mess with that in a minute. No, it's gonna bug me. Okay, we're gonna have to deal with that in a second. But I pulled up on the cowl to get the computer back in. It was really irritating. The seals underneath were giving me a hard time. The seals between the connectors and the ECM, those were giving me trouble. All around, pretty annoying. But anyway, the Casper stuff seems to be working fine. I think this whole setup here is pretty decent quality, so I have no complaints with the Casper stuff, just the OEM GM stuff. But we'll take a walk. Take a walk here, and the car is off right now. Battery's hooked up, just as it would be if you had parked the car for the day. Here's our switch. Now I'm going to switch it, and you're going to hear the fans come on. Yeah, baby. So down, well, in this orientation anyway, down is low. So we have 2-speed fans, right? That's the low on right now. Now check this out. Back to normal. Obviously, when the engine is not running, the ECM is not commanding the fans to be on, because in the middle, the car is doing what the ECM's telling it to do, and the ECM's like, bruh, the car's off. No need for fans, right? Now we push it up. Oh yeah, baby, check that out. We got some, I actually feel the air on my legs from under the car. This is a lot of air here. So yeah, this is sweet. Very sweet. So, I guess the good old boys over at Casper's Electronics, they were not lying, man. This is plug and play, and it does work as advertised. It's always nice when that happens, because it's pretty rare that it happens. So Casper's Electronics, the little $70, $60, well, $70 after shipping, little $70 wire harness here, a little module that allows you to manually control your radiator fans. It's cool stuff. I like that. The install was, was a little tricky, not by the fault of Casper, but just because F-bodies are kind of tricky in this area. But once you watch the video, you'll have a better idea than I did of how to do it. LSX Motorsports, like I said, he had a very good video on how to do it. That's where I learned what I learned. But yeah, I would recommend this. This is cool. Quite literally, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, switch works pretty good. So now my only thing left is to put the interior back together. Just put the little kick panel back in there, and then figure out where I'm going to put the old switch. Like I said, for now I'm probably just going to tape it up here, something like that, just to keep it out of the way, but easily accessible while I'm driving. Because my whole reasoning behind getting this thing was for when I come off the racetrack, I want to have the fan on, so I can cool down the old 3800 after ragging on it in the heat. Because when I went to a track day earlier this week, and it was I was really ragging on the motor, The coolant temp was looking okay. It was right in the middle at 210, and I'm running a 180 thermostat in this car currently, and weather was about 90 degrees during that day. But as the day went on, the car just started to feel really slow. So I was thinking maybe it was just, I mean, the car is really slow, but it felt slower than usual. So I was thinking maybe it was getting really hot, and maybe the coolant temp was okay, but perhaps another temperature sensor or something else was hindering its performance. Perhaps the knock sensors were pulling timing or something like that. But, so I got a 160 thermostat on the counter over there from ZZP. I'm going to throw that in there maybe tomorrow. And then now we have my pretty nifty little fan controller there. So cool stuff, cool stuff. Quite literally, plug and play. Plugs into in between this connector, and you're good to go. Well, I mean, it's not quite that simple, but once you get the switch in there and get the hardest part of the whole thing by far was just the stupid ECM, getting that in and out. But that is the best place to run it, is through there into that grommet. But it is what it is. Everything seems to be working. So we're gonna end the video on a high note. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this information helpful. But yeah, I would recommend the old Casper Electronics fan control module for FBodies. And this is a V6 car. It was advertised as for LS1s, but this is a V6, and as you can see, it worked. So I'm going to say it is for any 4th gen FBody. So go get one. I think they're cool. Thanks for watching, guys.
Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future uploads.